Thanks for coming back and sticking with us here. You're definitely going to enjoy this next level here. I have the pleasure of bringing back the gentleman that presented for me here in week one, Nathan Amaral. And we're going to continue the discussion we had on that day when we were talking about the lead magnet and the introduction to setting up a sales funnel. So this is where we really start to get into the meat and potatoes and the nitty-gritty of this whole thing. It really starts to get exciting now, because this is where the whole thing really starts to kind of we get into the nuts and bolts, and really things starts to kind of take shape here with this whole thing. So if you can pretty much just go out, I would imagine, right after today and start to really put this thing into effect for you. You can really start to get up and running with your lead generation program, because what we're going to give you right now is pretty much going to be the backbone and the heart of really just getting your whole business sales funnel and your whole operation set up so that you can start doing more business. So I got Nathan on, and I can maybe allow him to just kind of refresh your memory as to who he is exactly, and just, you know, what he does, just briefly. Again, it would be definitely worth your while to kind of research him, go back, check out his website. And if you haven't already done so, reach out to him and start to utilize some of the resources that he has available. Because if you start to become a student of him, not just for what he teaches here, but all the other things that he does, your business, it will basically, just the growth of it will accelerate in multiple facets of it, because he just kind of really, I mean, that's what he does. So how's it going, Nathan?
Hey, Chris. Good. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Hey. All right. So we're not in South Carolina this time fishing with some guy in a boat. It appears like you're traveling on the road and
yeah,
going to meet some clients, or just kind of networking, and just always on the go, Mr. Amaral.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm just actually I'm in North Carolina right now and heading over to the airport on this rainy day. And yeah, just going to spend the weekend at a good friend's wedding, and good networking with meeting a lot of buddies in the industry. Good time.
Nice. All right, so perhaps that maybe begs a future interview regarding networking, but maybe way down the road. I'll give you a little vacation, because you've been so generous with doing these interviews for me. I get greedy too, because I'm kind of chomping at the bit here with Waldo. I'm like a kid in a candy store interviewing you. But all right, let's get right into it then. So just a refresher for the people watching, where we left off on that first module, where we started to talk about the lead magnet and the whole mission behind what we're trying to do when you're a real estate agent, or you're just a business owner and you want to get more customers and clients. The main objective is really what you're trying to just get some contact information from them, whether it's a phone number, or ideally you'd like that email address, so that you can follow up with them and you can engage them and start to build that professional business relationship with them, so that you can, you know, obviously attract them as a customer. So we spoke about how you really need something valuable that you can give to that ideal customer that you've identified in your mind, that's in your target market. So for the purposes of this conversation today, we'll just say a real estate agent. So you're looking to attract people that want to buy or sell a house. So you're going to put some valuable content out there that you're going to gift to people in some way, shape, or form. And again, revisit that first module where there's some specific strategies and techniques that you can do to do that. But it will be some type of okay, so let's just say it's an ebook, and you're going to put it up on the internet somewhere, because you're using that as the lure, like the gentleman was using when he was fishing in the pond there. It's just like fishing. You're going to put a little piece of bait on a hook, and you're going to put that out there on the World Wide Web. And you're going to try to get a fish to bite on that, because the fish is hungry. So the same concept here. Okay, well, how do we do all of that? What's the logistics behind all of that? You know, what do we use for websites? What platforms and software? And how does it all come together with the mechanics of it? You know, where does that email go? Does it go into some type of database? How do you get it? And what do you do with it afterwards? So I think it's important. Sure. You know, if you try to research all of this on your own, you say, you know, there's a lot of different platforms available out there on the market today. You know, there's some really good ones, and then there's some cheap ones. And so I wanted to bring Nathan back on here today because he's got a significant amount of experience in what we're talking about here, and I want him to just really make your life easy with just giving it to you straightforward, saying, okay, All right. The basic tools and resources, you know, in Nathan's experience, what he personally uses, what he recommends for his clients. Say, all right, if you're looking to get your sales funnel started up, so let's just go with it then, Nathan. We'll just say, all right. So
Sure.
what tools and resources would a person need to get started to set up their sales funnel?
Yeah, sure. You know, Chris, this is the place to start. You know, you're talking about, you know, finding out what the biggest problem is for that target person, developing, crafting that GOV, the gift of value, is what I title that. It's, you got to give away something of value to someone, and that's where it all starts right there, is giving away something that is going to solve a problem for someone, and to help them, you know, to help them. And that's basically your first point of contact, right? In exchange for an email. So the GOV formula, the gift of value formula, is a way to, you know, give something of value in exchange for a piece of contact information, whether it's an address, a phone number, or an email. So when that takes place, and I mean, pretty much around the world, it's like acceptable for people to give out their emails online. Now, this is where a unique thing happens. Is where people will have more than one email, okay? Now, what's important about your material, what you're offering, and what you're doing is all going to be dependent on how serious it is to that person. So, I mean, Chris, I mean, how many emails would you have right now? I mean, you know, is it over 2? Is it over 1, you know?
Yeah, no, I've got a random assortment of emails in the database that Keller Williams gives to its agents. It comes when you sign on. You know, you get websites and things of that nature. So I've got random people in there. You know, different professionals that I network. It's a wide assortment of people. I have some people that are trying to buy. Some people are looking to rent an apartment. Some people, I have asset managers from banks in there. You know, I have other brokers in there. So I've got it all kind of categorized with different types of people that I work with.
Well, and what I mean though, personally though, you would have more than one email, right?
Yeah, I've got a bunch of them. I got Chris Helps with Health Gmail, and yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, personally, everyone usually has more than one email, and what happens is at the moment of the decision to give away an email, is people start deciding in their mind, what email am I going to give this person, whether it's online or even offline. There's a, let's say, more of a public, let's put it down into 2 categories. There's a public email, and then there's a private email. There's a business email, and then there's a private email. So the important thing is that you know that you're going to have people who are going to give you, you know, depending on how important it is to them, which email is going to be their best. So the reality is, when someone is really, and you got a target market, you're so targeted and you know exactly who you're talking to and who your customer is, that they're more than likely going to give you their best email, which is going to be their private, personal email. And that's the desire that you want, is their, you know, most checked, you know, highly coveted email. And so when that takes place, you know, Chris, you bring up a great truth in my life. I've tested a lot of different softwares. I've tested, you know, and sometimes when a new software comes out, I test it just to try it, and I'll use it for 30, 60, maybe even 90 days, just to ensure that how good is it in the marketplace that may be best for my clients. So, you know, my recommendation is for 2 email platform softwares. I highly recommend everyone to start off with a software called GetResponse, and you can easily find them online at getresponse.com. And you know, GetResponse is a powerful platform, a great way to get started with commercial emailing or broadcast emailing. If you're mailing a lot of people, you don't want to email out of your own personal account. You don't want to, you know, have a list of 30 or 50 people or even 10 people and personally email them out of your personal account, okay? Especially when it comes to business-related things. The more often you do that, the worse it's going to be for you long term. You know, I'm not going to get into the whole ISP and blacklisting and spam folder and all that, but I'll tell you this. If you're going to do business the right way, or at least on a decent level, definitely get an email provider platform. And then as your business grows with email marketing, I highly recommend after that you move over to a software called Infusionsoft. and Infusionsoft is one of the most powerful online softwares out there. So for lead capture and nurturing people.
Okay. So now GetResponse is that an autoresponder, or how does everything connect together?
Sure.
So, like if someone writes this email, or they've got their lead magnet, what is GetResponse? Just really quickly, what does that do exactly? Just kind of like in layman's terms.
Sure. What both platforms do, GetResponse and Infusionsoft, is one, they help you create what's called the opt-in form. And the opt-in form is where you will receive the contact information, whether it's the name, phone number, email, whatever it may be. So it will help you create the opt-in form. Then after you receive the email, it will also create what's called a double opt-in request. And I highly recommend that every email that comes in to your system, to your database, to your email marketing platform, that every email is double opt-in requested that goes out. That means someone takes the extra time to click on a confirmation email after they want or give you their email and say, yes, I definitely want this material or this email to be emailing me. So I highly recommend that. And then also it creates an autoresponders is simply customers on a regular basis. You can't, if you're getting 10 leads a day, you can't possibly be emailing them one-on-one personally over and over again. So it will do all that automatically.
Nice. So now the GetResponse there and the Infusionsoft, it's just basically, is that really all a person needs? They just have to figure out what they're going to use for a lead magnet. The GetResponse thing helps them set up a special web page for that. And then the autoresponder and everything, that's all just one-stop shopping for somebody. They can just set it up.
Well, I wish it was. There's actually one more component to all that, and it's called a landing page. And the good thing with either one of those platforms, whether it's GetResponse or Infusionsoft, they both provide landing pages. So a landing page is if someone is on the internet and they're browsing, they're searching, they're going to click a link. The internet is links, hyperlinks all around the internet. Well, when someone clicks a link to your item, your piece of value, your gift of value, after they click that link, it's got to go somewhere. So if you might not want to drive traffic or people clicking to your main website, you'd probably want them to go to your landing page, which is simply very specific to the offer that you're offering, the GOV offer that you're giving them.
Yes, awesome. All right, now so GetResponse and Infusionsoft, those are like the gold standards in the industry, if you will. Like if you're going to do this business, those are the absolute best solutions. Like those are like top shelf in your opinion.
Yeah, those are the best in my opinion. And I say that GetResponse, there's a lot of different other platforms out there. I think GetResponse has the best user interface for beginners, people getting started. I think they have the best user interface for people just getting started in email marketing and getting up and running. I think they're the best at it.
Awesome. All right, and just roughly ballpark figures, would you happen to know what the cost would be to kind of get, like, say, to invest in GetResponse and then to invest in Infusionsoft?
It's going to range based on the list size, but GetResponse offers a piece where you can start for free and then pay as you grow. But when it comes to Infusionsoft, it's a bigger application. There is an upfront and a monthly fee. So, but you can get started for free with GetResponse in as little as $15 a month. Oh,
nice. Okay. All right. And then, because I know that, like, I looked into Infusionsoft for myself, and I know that Sue uses it, and it's like a couple $100 a month or something like that, isn't it? I mean, Infusionsoft is pretty pricey, but I know it's, top of the line stuff.
Yeah, it's the top of the line. There is an upfront fee for it, and that can range. I don't want to quote any upfront fees because it's going to take a phone call into their office. But Infusionsoft will range monthly Anywhere, depending on the size of your contacts, it's going to range anywhere from, $200 a month as much as I've seen $3,000 a month.
Right. So, I mean, that would be good for people that are, more seasoned in this, and if they've got the budget for it. Is there a more cost-effective alternative to Infusionsoft? Like if someone is just getting started out and they don't have any list, they got a very small budget to play with. Again, it's the realtor that hasn't had a closing yet. Is there anything comparable to Infusionsoft that a person can just start with, and then when they grow their list and they got some clients coming through the door, then they say, okay, well now I'm gonna upgrade to Infusionsoft? Like, just what would be kind of like the the starter's version of Infusionsoft, if you will? Is there anything like that out there that could?
I don't think there is a starter version. Most people have to because Infusionsoft is almost an all-in-one. It's difficult to have Infusionsoft do what it does and compare it to other softwares. But I will tell you this: if anyone's just starting off, they should start off with something like GetResponse. And then what they want to do is, because those people are just coming in with an email and whatnot, and they're basically haven't purchased anything, when someone takes action and buys something, there's another software that I would recommend for that. And there's a bunch, actually, I could. But anytime someone purchases, you might want to put them into a software like One Shopping Cart is one that I recommend.
So one shopping cart, it does like a similar function to Infusionsoft. Is it like a cheaper alternative?
It's not a cheaper alternative. What it is, because if you're going to have people buying things online, that's where there's a few different elements to this. And if you're having people purchase things on the internet, an e-commerce way, then you would need a shopping cart. So I recommend One Shopping Cart. Yeah. If you're looking for more of a database and storing people's names in a database, there's a few softwares I recommend at a beginner level before Infusionsoft. I would probably recommend one of them is called Insightly.
Oh, okay. I never heard of that one. That's cool. Insightly. Yeah, that's where I was going with this whole thing, was like, what does a person use if they can't afford Infusionsoft? So, all right, that's awesome then. So, let's just say for the person, all right, I'm a brand new real estate agent. I'm just trying to find some emails of people that are looking for more information about buying a house. Person got their lead magnet. All right, they know who their audience is, and say, okay, so they get a very affordable account with GetResponse, and then Insightly. And then they can, and then like you said, get the landing page set up, and then they can just get started day one with something that's practical. Yeah. But
I'll tell you what, Chris. If someone is really serious and has already a decent clientele, and they're getting income from their business, I mean, I wouldn't put off Infusionsoft. And actually, if any of your audience wants either a special discount or to get a better deal on Infusionsoft, I recommend them giving me a call or reaching out to me, because I've done that for my clients. Because the thing is, it's like if you're just, let me break this down into two categories. If you're just getting started and you have no clients, you're kind of just getting your feet wet, and there's no you're not getting any sales in your business yet, then I recommend those other smaller options. But if you're already closing deals, you're already getting some business in, then I would not put off Infusionsoft. Is a great way I'd separate the two. If your business is coming in, you're closing deals on a regular basis, or at least once a month, twice a month, then I would recommend Infusionsoft right away, because the power of Infusionsoft will save you a bunch of time, a bunch of headaches, and there's a lot of things that you can do with Infusionsoft that you cannot do with other softwares.
I totally agree. That's awesome. Okay, I think we covered that nicely. Okay, so I guess maybe, so once a person kind of just starts to set up their accounts, I would imagine like GetResponse, Insightly, Infusion, they have tutorials there that it's pretty user friendly, right?
Absolutely.
Walk the person through everything as far as how everything syncs together, and then how the logistics of everything. So that's cool. All right. So briefly now, if we want to move on and start talking about the landing page, we covered some options and how everything connects, and then the cost. When someone is going to try to communicate messages to their target audience on the landing page, well, what's some effective sales copy, if you will, messages, verbiage that people can just write on there to say, hey, looking to buy a house, or I know that we spoke in that first module about you want to speak and you're trying to address a person's specific problems that they have, like, hey, are you tired of car alarms going off in the middle of the night, or you tired of renting, or things along that nature. But I know that there's a specific art and a science to the specific choice of words that you use, how many, and things of that nature. So if someone's going to get started just writing sales copy for their landing page, what are some ABCs to that?
Copy is a skill, just like sales is a skill, and it takes time. And with any marketing piece, it needs to be tested. So that's the first thing I'd tell anybody: is any piece of marketing that's created has to be tested to ensure, or to I don't want to say regulate, but to track and see the response that's taking place from every visitor on that page, to ensure what is the conversion rate of each visitor to to an opt-in, to getting someone on board or into the funnel. So when it comes to the copy, sometimes the copy is actually the least important thing. I break it down into 3 ways. What's most important about your offer. First is the target audience. That's the most important thing to have a converting offer. The second is your offer. That's the second most important thing. Is your offer good? Is it irresistible? And then the third one is the copy. So I'm going to say those 3 again. In order to get a great converting offer, your first one is your target audience. Are you presenting it to the right people who need it right now? And 2, it's the offer. Is it irresistible? Is it something they're looking for and something that they want? And 3, the copy, the words that are used. So when it comes to a landing page and an opt-in page, what I recommend is that, the headline, just like in the front of a magazine, is speaking directly to that person in the situation they are in right now. So if someone simply is, looking for a house in the market, that headline should say, looking for a house with a question mark, is one powerful way. Questions and headlines are really powerful. There are many different strategies. One of the easiest ones is questions, but there's a lot of different strategies that we could spend a whole 3-day seminar on about, crafting great headlines and email copy and what landing pages.
Right. Yeah. I think like Gary kind of spoke up on it a little bit in module 2. I've got him kind of like right after that first one when you spoke. So I think that maybe he used the example of looking for condominiums in Plainville, Connecticut. Like you said, it's like a question, but something specific. So maybe if someone's lead magnet was like, Gary recommended, okay, well, you should have a guide. So maybe like looking to sell your home in Plainville, Connecticut. Here's the official guide to selling your condominium in Plainville, Connecticut. And then I think he actually said you make it current, like 2014 or something like that. So maybe if that's the lead magnet, if an agent is looking for people that want to buy or sell whatever is specific from a verbiage standpoint, say, okay, here's the official guide to selling your house in Plainville, Connecticut in 2014. So then maybe just briefly, I know you said there's a lot to it and we can't really kind of summarize it in a couple of sentences here. I know you said it's like an art and a science, but like I say, are you looking to sell it? So for an example, just are you looking to sell your house in Plainville, Connecticut? Question. So that might be the headline. If so, click here and download your free guide. Just enter your email address and you can get this now, and it'll solve all your problems about trying to sell your house in Plainville, Connecticut. Or
And I'm going to add to that, Chris. Bullets play a very powerful one statement, and they're very simple to read. It's easy on the eyes. So bullets, I highly recommend bullets on a landing page, but the bullets should already continue the conversation or solve a problem that the ideal customer, the ideal prospect right there is thinking about. So again, it comes down to knowing your client right then and there, who they are before they even see your message, is knowing what their biggest hurdles are, and then you can simply solve their pain. Right, you're letting them know that they can have their pain solved within a bullet, right? So you have the attention of the headline, it's exactly what they need, and then there's slight pains that that person has, challenges and hurdles, fears, and you put those in the bullet area of what it is. Then you tell them to take action on the educational marketing piece, because whenever it's a free report or a consultation, those fall all under the lines of educational marketing. There's different forms of marketing and different avenues, but whenever you're giving something away that's someone to read and educate them, it would fall into the class of educational marketing, which is very, very powerful, by the way.
Yeah, definitely. All right. So I guess the landing page is really kind of pretty straightforward then. It's just a headline with a question. Like you said, you speak to the person's problems and fears, and it's a psychological element in there where you're just trying to help the person and say, hey, listen, you're trying to buy a house, just, read this thing that I made, download it, and it'll help you. And then you get contact information. Or sometimes it might just be like, call me. Like, for example, you said, okay, well, if you're looking to get Infusionsoft, I can help you out and get you a discount on it. Call me. So it's like you're trying to help the customer, and you get contact information. So just a little side note there, kind of like a leading by example, if you will. But all right, so that might be an example for the real estate agent. Now, let's say, okay, we're going to go to the next level on this, and the person they got everything set up in place. They've got their autoresponder and the things that you mentioned. They got all their ducks in a row. Now, the real estate agent, they're really not trying to sell anything. They just want to help a person that's looking to buy or sell a house, or whatever some real estate related problem may be. Now, if you've got someone that's trying to, let's say, all right, well, I have a particular product that I sell, whatever it may be. Like you said, now we're starting to go into that e-commerce avenue, if you will, where you say, okay, well, you need a shopping cart and things like that. What's the next level up from the lead magnet? Is it you're just continuously trying to sell this particular customer that you've identified, going up the staircase to progressively more expensive products? So if the lead magnet was the first step on the staircase, what's the second step, and where does the sales funnel go from here?
Well, yeah, that's a great question, Chris. I get that question asked of me a lot, especially any close clients and people who are trying to get started with their business. One of the most important things is knowing exactly what your end goal is. So if you're trying to sell a house, if you're trying to sell headphones, whatever it may be, is understanding what the client is really looking for. There's some products that are very, that are very simply understood, and customers are fickle, so they will just jump around and get the best deal, right? And that may be a set of headphones. It may be a certain type of phone, right? There's different types of sales that need different types of marketing or, segments of marketing. So, when it comes to, let's say, if we talk about real estate and selling a property, it's more about that customer knowing that they're getting into it. It's one of the biggest life decisions in the world. They're not going to buy a house through a shopping cart, well, at least some, other places like eBay sell houses online, but most places are not going to, are going to be selling houses through a shopping cart, and it's a big life decision for someone who's relocating or buying their first home. There's a lot of internal fears and doubts and worries. So the whole idea with the follow-up sequence for that realtor would be to build a relationship, reassuring them that they got their back. That's going to be one type of relationship building marketing compared to something like a Groupon, which is not so relationship based, but yet here's the offer of the day. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely. I hope I didn't confuse people watching this, only because my target audience is primarily going to be realtors, but I do market to some small business owners and entrepreneurs, and a lot of what we talk about is applicable, and some of it overlaps because, like you said, you can use a sales funnel. You can say, okay, well, you know, if you're just trying to help somebody with educational marketing as a realtor, and they just want to, you're trying to help people that want to buy a house, they don't want to buy anything, any physical product, or just for the people that may be watching this that say, okay, well, I have a small business and I sell home study courses or whatever the case may be, or you know, the wide variety of physical products. That's the beauty of this sales funnel concept, is you can set up these things that you mentioned, you know, like your Infusionsoft and your the different platforms, and say, okay, well, and just start to kind of roll out different email campaigns for whatever it is you're talking about, and whatever problems you're trying to solve, and whatever you're trying to help the person with. Just go the different directions, basically, and just, I guess the bottom line is really just helping somebody for the most part, and you just kind of tailor it accordingly. But that's good stuff. And again, I was just curious as to kind of, you know, where the staircase would go. And again, I know that it's probably beyond the scope of this interview right now. I could interview you for another, like you said, like a 3-day seminar, because the big matrix of the sales funnel, you know, it's just the hole goes pretty deep. So
yeah.
Hopefully over time that we can probably accomplish and get this all mapped out for people. But I guess that's a great starting block anyway, just to get people to try to generate some business. Is, you know, once they get those platforms set up and they know, you know, who they're talking to and how they're going to help people and what they're going to give, then that right there should at least be a good starting point for people to try to build their list and get some emails in their database. And then for realtors, they can start to engage these people by, you know, emailing them or calling them or whatever the case may be. So that's great stuff. Any potential pitfalls that people should be aware of? Like what are some of the biggest mistakes that you see people make when they're trying to construct their own funnels and do the things that we've mentioned today? What are some of the mistakes that you see people making?
You know, that's a great question, because I think that we can all learn from mistakes that people have made. And, you know, one of the things I think people wait too long. I think a big mistake is that people wait too long to get it started. I think that's the biggest mistake, and you know, that people procrastinate or they delay their success, their own success, and that's simply from procrastinating. You know, the thing with business development is that you build it. It's something you build, and you build it along the way. So when you're getting started with these types of softwares, there's two avenues of direction that I recommend, depending on the type of business owner that you are. And I would say it like this: everyone has an entrepreneurial spirit within them in some way, form, or fashion. The person that ventures off and takes that step into entrepreneurism will typically starts off as a solopreneur, meaning they are by themselves. They're just getting started. They're a one-man band, and they're trying to get all these, you know, things going all at the same time. And I think the biggest mistake a lot of people make when they're getting started is they don't focus on what they're good at. They don't focus on their strengths. And what I believe is truly important, and it's more possible, it's easier today, it's much more flexible, much more automated than ever before in history, is focus on what you're good at and delegate the rest, right? So today with virtual assistants, you're able to find people today around the country, around the world, of people who are great at what they do specifically, rather than just interviewing people locally, you know, in your local area and being geographically, limited. Now with the internet, it's worldwide, so you can tap into people's skills around the world. So I highly recommend that when you're getting started, is most of the time people will think like, okay, I got to do this and I got to do that and I got to do this email and I got to do this landing page and I got to do this. And what happened is two things. Is one, the time that it takes to do that and the frustration. And then two, a lot of thoughts that happen in people's minds is, well, I can't afford it. I can't afford someone else, or I can't afford this, or I can't afford that. Well, I'll tell you what will help soothe the pain of affording, bringing on people into your team, is know exactly what makes the sale and get really good at making the sale. Because the sale will relieve a lot of the other pain, right? Sales are the lifeblood to any business. And when you have sales coming in, it makes everything a lot easier, brings down stress. Money's coming into the business. It makes it a little bit easier. So what I recommend is when you're starting in business, or to avoid any mistakes, to answer your question about avoiding mistakes, is find out what exactly that offer is, get it really fine-tuned, find your target customer, and get to the sale as quickly as possible, because that will relieve a lot of other, softwares and I guess I'm just going to call them, widgets. There's a lot of widgets out there, especially with the internet. There's a lot of widgets, and if you don't just focus on one way and strategy to get to that goal of making the sale, you'll be all over the place with a bunch of different widgets and still with no sale. So.
You do realize that you totally just opened the door for me to interview you again. You do realize that, right? And you're like, oh my God, not another interview. No, it appears that you love it. You're an absolute reservoir of knowledge. It's just like I ask you one question and you provide so much great stuff just comes out. It's obvious that I couldn't resist. I had to tempt you to throw that in there. But maybe I'll give you a little break. I'll give you a vacation, and I'll start interviewing some other experts, and I'll kind of bring you back down the road or whatever. But that's good stuff. I think what we covered today, I think those are basically the fundamentals. Then I would say, would you agree as far as just you got like you said, you got a one-man band, man or woman. They're just trying to get up and running in some way, shape, or form, whether they want to find someone who's looking to buy or sell a house, or they've got widgets that they want to sell. Some type of an entrepreneur, they just say, okay, well, I'm going to start my lead generation process. I'm going to get this up and running as soon as I'm done watching this video. So say, okay, well, all right, well, I did my homework. I got my lead magnet. Just to summarize here, I got my lead magnet. And all right, well, now I got to go and I've got to get some of these platforms. All right, well, I'm going to try GetResponse. All right, so I'm going to sign up. Okay, $15 a month, give or take. That's not too bad. All right, and then, all right, maybe I'll invest and I'll go and I'll sign up for. Well, I'll look at Infusionsoft. Maybe I'll call Nathan. Maybe you can give me a break on it. So you don't forget, you got to give us your contact information at the end of the interview so people can do that. I know that they already have your website info from the last one, or maybe they'll try Insightly. And then, we'll start working on the landing page. Think about what they're going to say on that. Like you said, with the headlines and the bullet points, put the lead magnet up there. And then maybe like on a Saturday afternoon like this, on a rainy day or something, boom, they can be up and running and they can start generating leads pretty much, right?
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, today it's a lot easier to get things set up than ever before, I must say, on the internet. Yeah.
Good stuff. All right, brother. Well, I'll let you go because I can easily keep you in that parking garage talking to me for the next 3 hours because the light bulbs, they just keep going off, and you start talking about like virtual assistants and sales methodology and all this great stuff. And then I get tempted to start asking you more questions, but I know that you appear like you have another appointment that you're going to. So I'll let you go. If you want to refresh our memory on the best way that you'd like people to get a hold of you, if you want to throw your phone number out there, or you just want to put your website back up on there where people can go, because I would like to see. I'm kind of looking into Infusionsoft myself. So I think that would be an awesome move, and I'm glad that you really kind of opened the door for people and gave them the opportunity to have you help them with that, because like you said, it is quite powerful and it could make the difference. As far as relieving people's business related time saving struggles and things of that nature.
Yeah.
That's an extra bonus that you provided here today that I totally wasn't expecting, and I'm highly appreciative of.
Sure, yeah, absolutely. Well, people can reach out to me. They can go to my website at nathanamaral.com. They can contact me through there, but also they can call my office at 704-233-3077. That's 704-233-3077. And one of the most important things I'd recommend is just to get started, in the process. That's really important. So that'd be like the first tip of advice I'd give someone is get started, and also never, ever, ever give up. Just keep going.
That's what I'm talking about. Thank you, Mr. Amaral. Once again, highly appreciative would be an understatement, and I love these interviews. And good luck to you, and enjoy the rest of your day. And
Great.
I think this was definitely good stuff that we're talking about today. I'm gonna have to look into seeing how I can kind of construct, because you did kind of open the doors on some critical things that they would be very important for people to know, and I'm glad you kind of enlightened us on that. As I may have even probably overlooked it potentially down the road, is using virtual assistants. The quicker that someone can get to that level, the better. Like you said, when you start leveraging other people, and real estate agents, especially if they can start to tap into that, and then starting to learn how to those sales ninja techniques that can help other people first and foremost, get out of their own way, and where you just start to therapeutically work with them and say, through that art and science of sales, which is really kind of probably misunderstood by a lot of people. And they probably traditionally think of a salesperson as like the snake oil salesman, or the slick, fast talking car salesman that says,
yeah,
absolutely.
absolutely.
What do I need to do right now to get you to buy this car? Oh, okay. Let me go back and talk to my manager. Oh, my manager doesn't give me that price. We've all been there. And it's sales kind of there's a negative stigma attached to it, and for people to learn it the right way from guys such as yourself, I think it is quite valuable. So I will leave it at that. It's a no-brainer. Call Nathan. Go to his website. And just to start, become a student of Nathan Amaral. You'll be very happy that you did. I study Nathan diligently with all of the stuff that he talks about, and I couldn't be happier. Again, I don't want to turn this interview into a big testimonial, as I easily could, but just wanted to throw that out there. And if you have any last words of wisdom, Nathan, I think you pretty encapsulated, I would say, everything that people need to know. But if you'd just like to say, have a great day, and what do you got?
Yeah, I would just I'd wrap it up with this: is that doing this, improving themselves, your audience, and people who continually learn and educate themselves, always becoming a student, having good coaches in your life. I highly recommend that. Tony Robbins, national, worldwide, international trainer, speaker, motivational expert, and was recently actually just featured in the Forbes magazine, and it was about really focusing on the structure of life and balance, and just one thing that he's always said for a number of years for business people, and that he reiterated back in this interview with Forbes. What was a very simple strategy, but yet a lot of people miss out on it, is that people are around the world. People are very much the same, right? People all have needs. Your needs are not different. than 30,000 other people. There's a lot of people who have the same problem. And again, this goes back to the part where your target audience is, if you find out who that person is very clearly, you can speak life into them, you can help them, and you can change their life forever in a good and positive way, doing good business. So, to reiterate what Tony said was, become a master. Become a master at what you're doing. Become a student. Have coaches. Success leaves clues. And when you model people who are successful or have done successful things in their life, and you continually, work with them and learn and grow from them, like your audience is learning from you, your students are learning from you with these trainings. Continually to do that. Just keep on, being a student is what I would leave with. So yeah, just continue to be a student and never give up.
That's what I'm talking about. Hey, I'll let you go really quick. I'm just curious about something. Did you say Tony Robbins, like the motivational speaker guru guy that's like borderline God kind of?
Yep, yeah.
Are we talking about the same person? I was just curious if you ever collaborated with him. Did he ever speak on your stage, or vice versa? Did you ever speak on his stage?
He's never spoken on any of my stages, or I've never spoken on his stages. But yeah, we have collaborated a few times in some mastermind groups. We've never done any partnerships or anything, but yeah, we've exchanged laughs and handshakes and collaborated on ideas in mastermind groups. And I'll tell you what, not just because he had a major impact in my life, the first major impact in my life at a prime time, at the right time in my life, but over the years, he's been a leading example in my industry of what mastery truly is.
Yeah. Couldn't have said it better myself. Yeah, that's it. So I can't think of a better way to kind of end this module. So folks, just kind of don't overthink this. Just put it all together, kind of what Nathan has taught us, and just execute it. Just just do it. You can bang all this out in a couple of hours, and as we learned today, I would say at a fairly cost affordable level, a few $100, you get all your weapons in place, and you can just get your soldiers out there and get your army up and running, your lead generation army, and start getting those emails, start working with more clients and customers, and start making more money. And thank you one more time for Nathan Amaral for showing us how to do that the right way. Because if you try to figure all this out yourself, you're just wasting time. And I think, like you said earlier, there's just too many widgets and shiny objects out there where you can just spin your wheels in the sand. If you don't have the right tools and the right things in place that are time tested, because the experts, the guys like Nathan, he's been there, he's done that. Don't reinvent the wheel and just try to go and just figure all this out for yourself. You just take it from the experts. Don't overanalyze it. Don't be paralysis by analysis, if you will, and then just say, okay, I'm going to do it. Take that action. Not to be cliche, but just go and then just get it done. Good stuff. Yeah. Nathan, thank you so much. I really appreciate this. I wish I could spend more time with you. And that's all for today, folks. I mean, this has been amazing stuff. Clearly, you see that my passion comes out because I start rambling and stuff. But I'm like a kid in a candy store when I talk to Nathan, because it's just so informative and educational, to say the least. So I'll see you in the next module, and perhaps we'll talk about virtual assistants. Pretty safe bet that will be a module in the near future to come. And enjoy the rest of your day, folks, watching this. Go out and get those clients, and see you next time. And as Sue says, see you on the flip side. Thank you, Nathan.
Thanks, Chris.
All right, sir. Bye, everybody.